Welcome back to the Hey Sister podcast, where sisters share real opinions and have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. I'm Bria.
Faith.
Amaya.
And Brooklyn.
Hey, sisters. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Hey.
What have you guys
Hey,
been up to? How's
sister.
everyone's week going? How's everything moving for you guys?
Okay, this week has been a little annoying because I've been a little sick under the weather. More like a little sinuses, dizzy, tired. I hate when I'm sick and my body is super tired. When you're sick, you can function and do whatever. It's whatever. But when you actually cannot function, it's you actually just have to sleep it off. No, I can't even
Yeah.
think or do anything I need to do. But other than that, it was a cool week.
It's not too bad. Yeah, my week has been long. I'm in the middle of a couple busy travel weeks. Last weekend, I went to my best friend's bachelorette. This weekend, I'm in Dallas. And the next weekend, I'm going upstate. So I'm just I'm tired, but I'm halfway through this weird busy season. So looking for it to be next week for sure.
For me, I've been sleeping. Literally every day after class, I'll come home and take a nap. And it's been wonderful to catch up on my sleep. I have been getting headaches, but I never get headaches. So it's very random. But I've slept so much. So I'm loving it.
Okay, hey, we love sleep. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you don't really sleep in business school, so I feel like that's a good
I'm
thing
getting
at
my
least.
sleep. I don't know about you. I'm getting my sleep. Don't worry about it.
There's just a ton of events I feel like I'd always look up and be like, well, another day without sleep. For me, I think I'm just a little bit all over the place just because I got back from New York a couple of days ago. So I was working a shoot out there for a couple of days. It was literally a 36-hour trip. So I landed on Monday and then flew back out on Tuesday, which was just a lot. It was like a fun event for work, but it was just a lot to go be on East Coast time and then come back to West Coast time and adjust. And then next week I'm going back to the East Coast because um one of my line sisters and well, I guess one of me and Faith's line sisters is getting married in Jersey. She's literally gonna be a whole wife, which is
Wow.
insane.
A whole wife. And Ohio
I'm so
State love
excited.
story.
No, actually, though, it's gonna be a huge reunion because both my line sister, obviously, and her husband went to Ohio State, so it's gonna be so many people
Mm-hmm.
from Ohio State. Most of our line sisters are gonna be there, so it should be fun. I just am in the living in suitcases aspect of life where I haven't unpacked my
There it
last
is.
suitcase because I know I'm gonna have to repack it, kind of thing. So we'll get there, though.
I never unpack my toiletries. I have a travel
Me
toiletry bag that's
neither.
just for
That's what
travel,
Yeah.
and I buy separate products. I have a separate deodorant, a separate toothpaste. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not about to keep going in and out. But
That's what my
Yeah.
mom was telling me in where were we at recently? We were somewhere, and that's what she was telling me. She's like, "You should just have a pre-packed bag." And I was
yes,
like,
Yeah.
"Why did I
yes.
never think of that?"
Mm-hmm. You
She
have to
puts
buy
you
I
up.
double
really
the products, but that's okay. You can buy travel size.
Yeah, no, it's such a smart idea, and it's something that I'm definitely gonna build to just have ready as much as, I'm on the go for work and stuff. I just need to,
Mm-hmm.
have it
Just have
together
it.
so, because I feel like that's what always takes me the longest too, so
Yes.
that's a great tip. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hop into the main topic for this episode. And something that I really wanted to be able to dive into is everyone's journey with their hair. I think that it's so important to a lot of our stories, especially as women, especially as Black women specifically. I think that everyone kind of has a timeline or a story about, what their relationship with their hair has been. And I figured this would be a great outlet for us to just kind of dive into that. So maybe we start by everyone just kind of share what their hair journey is. Are you natural? Are you relaxed? Are you bald? Just let the people know where you're at.
Okay, let's see. I am currently natural. I've been natural, I don't know how many years. I've been natural since high school. I got my first relaxer when I was 3 or 4. I was
Mm,
young, 3, 4,
okay.
5, for my aunt's wedding, because my hair was thick and it was nappy, and it's still nappy, and I love that word. So no one get on me. I love the word nappy, so I'm gonna call my hair nappy because it is. So I had perms basically since 3, 4, or 5 up until maybe I was 11. And then I honestly stopped getting perms because the shop I would go to, I used to go to an old school shop. Like
Mhm.
we would get there early, but be there all day. Under the dryer, she has like 10 people in between us. Didn't matter because we were basically like family. We would go get food, come back. It was like a whole Sunday ordeal. But I had gotten a relaxer and my first sew-in on like the
Mm.
same day. So and I'm not knowing what's going on. So the person that did it should not have given me a relaxer and the sew-in because that's
Yeah.
outrageous.
That's
Went to
crazy.
taking my sewing out, and my hair was coming out in, like, clumps. Like, I remember I
Mm.
Oh,
was
wow.
literally in the shower washing my hair, and I was just like, I was my cousin was there, and I'm like, "I think a lot of my hair is coming out." And they're like, "That's normal." I'm like, "No, I think, like, a lot." Then from then, I stopped getting perms. So, I've probably been natural for, I guess, like, 12 years, but, yeah, that's my horror story.
Yeah, that would have had me stopping too. I
Mhm.
have I'm like you. I always used to get perms when I was growing up. I didn't stop perming my hair until maybe honestly like 3 years ago and I would also just get it permed and then get a sew in or have a weave. And I have always been like that. My mom never wears her natural hair, so, like, natural hair in my household was, like, not a thing. So I didn't even know how to, like, properly take care of my hair, and it wasn't until I started living with my roommate who always wears her natural hair, and she helped me really kinda understand, like, my hair type and what products I could use and just, like, how to love on my hair a little bit better. And I cut all my hair off, not, like, completely bald, but, like, really, really short. I was going through a lot, and that was, like, 2021 or 2022, and then after I cut it all off, I was like, "Okay, no more perms." So, yeah, for about 3 years now, I've been natural. This year, I usually don't wear a lot of braids, like, consistently, but this year, I haven't really had the mental capacity to, like, do my hair every day, so I've been keeping it in
Mhm.
braids. So that's where I'm at now, but every time I see a go sew in on the internet, I'm like, "Oh, I wish that was me."
Can still do it. You can still do it. I
We'll
feel like I
see.
recently started doing sew-ins again the past couple years, even though I'm natural, you just have to be mindful of what type. I don't do straight. If I get straight hair, I will
Yeah,
curl
Mhm.
it. But
yeah.
yeah, we can't do bone straight. But maybe
I've
figure
seen
it
a lot
Nah,
out.
of,
my hair texture going, like, crazy, bone straight.
I've seen a lot
Thanks.
of a lot of the girls on TikTok are swearing by kinky straight, which is like a
Mhm.
textured straight.
Oh, yeah.
I've never tried it, to my knowledge. I've never tried it,
I
but
heard
it
that
looks more
yaki
natural.
straight's better. Doing
Okay,
yaki straight over kinky straight because it blends a little bit better. That's what I heard.
okay.
Okay.
Word on the street.
I'm about to try that.
I know
Okay,
for me
okay.
and my journey, I was natural most growing up, and then I got my first relaxer. I honestly had no real reason to get it. I saw Bria had it, and so I was like, "Okay, why not?" So I got my hair relaxed. I had my hair relaxed for like 2, 3 years max, and I went right back to natural. I have a lot of hair, so I don't usually wear my hair in, like, out natural. I'm usually always in braids, because it's just a lot to take care of. But yeah, so I've been natural for probably, wow, 12 years. Bria
Wow.
and her and Faith's friend Jocelyn actually cut my relaxed hair off in Mexico one time when we were on a trip. Very random timing, but I
It's
was like,
so
sure,
funny.
let them cut my hair on a trip. And yeah, so I've been natural again for I think, wow, 12, 13 years now, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I was like, "When was that?" Because you were still in
Yeah, high
high
school.
school. Yeah, dang, that was a long
Spent
time
some
ago.
time, yeah.
For me, I feel like I've had, like, a pretty up and down journey with my hair. So I got my hair relaxed for the first time when I think I was, like, 6 or 7, and I thought I was young. Faith, you were definitely younger, but
Right.
I think for context for me, I went to all white, like, private schools pretty much up until high school, and so for me, I think it was posed as a question of, like, "Do you want straight hair?" And for me, that was all I saw. Like, I was surrounded by a bunch of white people with very
Mhm.
straight hair that, like, I just kind of, like, wanted to, like, fit in that aspect, and I was like, "Sure, like, yeah, of course I wanna relax or XYZ." I think at, like, 6, 7 years old, you don't know exactly what you're signing up for when, like, you get in the chair to get a relaxer, and then obviously there's, like, the fact that it burns and you can't scratch your head and there's Vaseline everywhere. It's just, like, a whole thing, but I was relaxed up until I went to college, actually. I started transitioning my hair broke off crazy, especially in high school, because I didn't know how to take care of it, And also I played sports. My hair was always in a ponytail. I always had a headband on, and my hair I still feel like the front of my hair is like obviously it's years ago, but it still feels broken.
Yeah.
Like, it broke off crazy, and so I went to this I always, like I thought about this as I was, like, thinking about the episode and, like, kind of preparing for it, but I had this hairstylist in high school who she, like, would always make comments about, like, natural hair and be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, like, your hair relaxed is just so much better, XYZ." There was another black girl in this, like, all-white private school that I went to, and, like, at one point she was a op too, but at one point, she told the girl, like, "Oh, you're just people are gonna like you so much more with, like, straight hair." And she was a black
Oh
lady.
my gosh.
I think, like I can't remember exactly how it happened, but somehow my mom found out that the girl said that, and I was like, "Okay, you're not going to her anymore," because that was just weird. All that to say, I
Yeah,
think it
no.
was, like, up until freshman year of college, I was actually, like, transitioning. I started transitioning, like, my senior year of college, and then my freshman year, I cut it all off. I don't know, I think Faith probably remembers. I don't know who.
I witnessed her
Yeah, it's
natural hair
like
journey for 4 years, guys.
yeah, like, if
She
you
used to
look at
do
all of
so
my hair
much, and I even, like, think about it, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, Imma do that to my hair now," because Bria would do that when you were first natural, like, you knew I feel like you turned natural and just out the gate was like, "Oh, I know it now I know what to do," but, like, I feel like you were doing the right thing, so now I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to do that now because your
yeah.
hair looks
I feel
great,
like
look
I
at it."
Thank you. I feel like I watched a lot of, like, YouTubers, but I definitely felt like I, like, bit off more than I could chew when I, like, first went natural because my hair is also very thick, and I've gone through points where I'm like, "I'm about to cut all this off, like, I'm over it," sort of thing.
Mhm.
But I've been natural since 15 now? I've had tons of breakage, tons of starting from above all over again kind of thing. Like, I'll go to the hairstylist, I wasn't getting trimmed and all that type of stuff. But, yeah, I guess that was, like, a little bit about my journey, but it's been very up and down. Like, I feel like I'll wear braids, I'll wear my natural hair, but I always just go through phases where I'm like, "I'm over it." I guess, like, in that same vein, what is maybe 1 or 2 things that's been, like, the hardest thing that you've had to overcome as you've managed your natural hair journey, as you've kind of, like, grown into your hair or, just tried different styles and things too?
I think for me, this year has actually been a very hard year with my relationship with my hair. 'Cause I usually like I said, I usually do wigs, I usually stick to what I know, but I was like, I'm so bored with that, and I was so tired of the lace. Seeing that lace in the
Yeah.
morning was starting to really irritate me, and I
You
was like,
first
I
wake
just
up, that's the first thing you see.
yes, the first thing I see, and, when someone, like, points it out, like, my boyfriend has pointed it out before, and I said, "Alright, I gotta find something else."
Okay, for
Hold
context,
on.
that's crazy. And my boyfriend is our brother, if you missed the intro episode, so that's insane. You should
He
not
said,
be
"What's
saying
that?" I said,
Right?
"Oh my
He just
god."
trying to help, he's just trying to
He
help.
said that he said, "Let me dab that a little bit." So I said, "I gotta find something else to do." So then I got some I think I started with getting some French curls earlier this spring, and I really liked that style.
Cute, yeah,
That was cute on
I
you,
love a
yeah.
good French curl. Thank you. I think that I'm moving towards that being, like, my signature style. But I notice when I wear darker hair, I don't like the way it looks. So, like, my hair is all
Mm,
black. I'm like, it really makes me feel, like, dull. So then I'm like, "Okay, let me try some blonde, let me try some browns," and that has really helped. But in between, like, picking my new styles, I don't know what it's been this year, y'all. It's just been making me so anxious. And I would, like, try to be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna, like, take down my braids, no appointment, no idea what
mm-mm.
I'm getting next, and just, like, figure it out, like, I'm so chill, it'll be so easy." I
okay.
literally the first time I did that, I had a mental breakdown. I was like I was down bad, I didn't talk to nobody for, like, a day. I, like, locked myself in my room, took down my hair. Whole time I'm taking down my hair, I'm watching TikToks about what style to get next, and I'm like,
Mhm.
there's actually only so many styles. So, like, I'm really
Yeah.
looking at videos of the same styles, and then the next day, I, like, just was like, "I'm just gonna walk around because I live in Brooklyn, so, like,
Mhm,
you can just walk around and find a braider, and that's what I did, and I also have this thing now this year too where I know that I'm not gonna like it before like, there's always something that I can, like, pinpoint that I know I'm not gonna like, and then I
Right.
get it done, and it looks like on the outside looking like, objectively, it's cute, but there's something in my brain that's like, "I don't like this all the way," and I don't know what it is. Because even with this last braids, this is like, what I usually would love, and I'm kinda just like, "Eh, like, it's fine." And I have not been taking care of it because I'm like, I don't really like it that much. So I don't know, I'm in a kinda weird spot with my hair and my relationship with my hair right now. I don't know what it is.
I think I'm in a similar, like, wave of, like, I just not a fan right now. I have been, like, terribly thinking about, like, getting some form of, like, texturizer, like, something because it's just gotten too much to take care of, and, like, I'm not a morning person, and I'm also someone, like, when I gotta wake up and figure out what to do with my hair, like, that's too much for
Mm.
me. And so that's why I always just, like, fall towards braids, but, like, at the same time, I get tired of braids as well, and, like, I don't wear my hair out naturally usually. Like, I don't know how to do a wash and go. I don't know how to do
Mhm.
a twist out furrow. Like, I don't know how to do any of
Yeah.
that. And so there's not many options, and so I get bored, but I also hate doing my hair too. So I'm like, something has to shake. I think also part of that too is living in Texas. Like, there's not many options also. It's like I can't straighten my hair. It's gonna sweat out the
Yeah.
same
Mhm.
day. Like
Right.
Yes,
so the only
girl.
option is really braids or something of the sort. So I think I'm just like at a phase where I'm like bored of my hair and something has to shake, but I don't know what it is. So I feel like in a similar
Yeah,
way as well.
for sure.
I think for me, I resonate with all of this very heavily. Like, I actually texted one of my friends from high school recently because she's a huge natural hair guru. She knows everything there is to know about natural hair and porosity and products and all these different things. And I texted her and I was like, I need you to convince me right now to not go get a relaxer because like I'm over it. Like, I'm literally just over my hair, like, it's too thick, it's always tangled, like, everyone, I feel like, compliments my curls, but they're, like, very difficult to take care of because they're so tight, like, they get
Mhm.
very tangled very quickly, and she was like, "No, you're gonna, like, regret a relaxer XYZ," and I'm just kinda like, "I don't know if I will," like,
Interesting.
Will
I thi
Let's
I
find
think
out.
that's, like, for me, one of the hardest things that's I've had to kind of manage is the fact that it comes in waves, especially, like, over the last couple years since, things get busy and work and all that different stuff, but I will say that, like, I go to the gym often, I run, like, I love how my hair looks when it's straight, but it's impossible to
Mhm.
take care of, and so I feel like that's always been, like, my dilemma. It's like, okay, if I get a silk press, I can't work out for 2 weeks,
Right.
or if I, like, you know, wanna work out for 2 weeks, then I can't, get my hair straightened or all these different things, and I feel like I've been really, like, sitting on or thinking about, like, what I want to do next, and y'all, I might become a lot girly. I've really been
Oh, we've
considering
been talking
Mm,
about this for years. Like,
years, like,
mm.
I might actually become a lot girly, and I don't know, like, when, I don't know, like, I feel like I've saved a bunch of videos of, like, what I would want them to
mhm.
look like, but it's so tricky because you can show somebody a picture of, like, what you want your locks to look like. Your locks are gonna look how your head wants them to look, period. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're gonna fill out
they're
how you
supposed to, yeah.
yeah, like, you can't, like, mimic anyone's locks like you can braids,
Um,
for example. So it's just it feels like a huge commitment, but I've been thinking about it for a while and, like, who knows when I'll actually do it or if I actually will do it, but I feel like it's just one of those things that's like, maybe I'll just try it, and if I hate it, I'll just cut my hair off. 'Cause I don't wanna sit
it'll
Well,
always
why
grow
don't you
back.
just practice and do like the faux locks? You can get them short so you can kind of
Mhm.
see
Get the
how it like
Yeah.
vibe.
starts
The
off.
mini
I
locks.
think you should definitely do that first. Cause I've had faux locks before, but like the ones that like go to your butt, so like that's not ideal. But like,
Last time last time I got faux locks was in 2021, and I remember being like, "I will never get these again," and maybe it was, like, the girl who did them, but they
mm,
number 1, she did them she maybe she didn't know what she was doing. She did them so big. They were, like, the chunkiest things I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, no.
But then also I had to go back to her to pay her to take them out because my
Oh
hair was
yeah,
wrapped
So
and, like,
rap.
tucks and all these different things, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't suggest you," like, "Girl, you did that because you wanted more money, 'cause now I gotta pay you to go take them out, otherwise I'm gonna cut my own hair off." So, I just remember
yeah,
it was, like, a full almost, like, $800 investment at the end of it because
Ooh.
I had to, like, pay for the hair, I had to pay for her to do them,
Mm.
and I had to pay for her to take
yeah.
them out. So I was like, "This is crazy." So,
That's true, and I will
yeah,
rec yeah, you should pay someone to take them out because it's very
yeah.
difficult. Okay, so I actually feel like the past year for my hair has actually been on a little bit of the up and up. It's like, okay, there's maybe a light
Good.
at the
Mm.
end of the tunnel, but also
Mhm.
I stress out every week and every month about my hair. Like, you cannot get around it, but I feel like I try to think of the year, like, I try to plan out my hairstyles for the year. For, like, the
Mhm.
past couple years, I've been trying to do that because I feel like when I first had moved to Atlanta, I was changing my hair, like, a lot, like a ponytail, and there's braids, but those braids can only last for, like, a couple weeks. Then I'm wearing my natural hair, and it's just like it was just too much, like, just too much wear and tear on my hair. So, last year I had gotten, like, the Burmese curly hair, and I put that in. I really liked that, and I kept it in for, like, a while, like, I think 3 months at a time, and I had it in, like, 3 different times back to back, so basically, like, almost, like, 8 or 9 months, and I just kept getting it redone. I really liked it because I feel like it's a kinda curl that I've always, like, wanted my hair to be, like, growing up, it's like, "Okay, I wanna wet my hair," and it's curly and, like, long, but,
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what my hair looks like. Every time even when my hair goes, I'm like, "Maybe it'll, like, just change." No, not yet. But only problem with that hair is, like, I feel like I have to wet it every day, which means I have to wet my
Mm.
hair every day, which is cool, but I think the hair like, curly weave just tangles so easily. So, like, even if I have, like, my hair twisted or I have kind of, like, twisted with the weave so it kind of blends in, looking like it's coming out my scalp, it'll just be too much. Like, I'm wetting it every day, and my hair and my clothes are soaking wet, and then I'm walking
Yeah.
outside the house and I have wet hair.
Mhm.
But I will say I think that grew my hair. I think hairstyles where you can
Well,
wet your scalp every day, because even with my braids, well, these aren't, like, great braids. I don't know what went wrong, but I got, like, what is it? Like the curly hair to put on the braids, and it's just so tangled. So every day I literally
Mhm.
go in with a brush and a water,
mm,
bottle and, like, some leave-in and, like, brush it through and, like, do all of that. But I also think that just kinda helps my hair because I kinda think of our hair as like a plant. So it's like
Mhm.
if you can water it, but still, like, leave it alone, it'll grow. So I say all that to say my hair has grown a lot in the past year, and I'm gonna
Period.
put the curly
Okay.
weave back in, but I'm not looking forward to the high maintenance, low maintenance hairstyle where I have to like, I don't have to style it, but I still have to dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes of detangling it and doing all these things and being
Yeah.
wet, and then yeah. So, it's like there's still no answer. Even the things that work, it's just, like, too much work. Like
No,
Brooklyn
I
said, I
feel
don't
you.
wanna
yeah.
wake up and do my hair for styles where you're not really supposed to wake up and do it, but
Mhm. Yeah,
can't
felt.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's always like a tricky there's always a trade-off. It doesn't ever feel
Yeah.
like it's, like, the perfect hairstyle in any aspect because it's like, if I wanted to have this look, I can't do this, or if I wanted to have this look, I don't have access to my scalp, or my hair might not
Yeah.
grow, or
Or
things
I
of that
can't work
nature, like
out.
yeah,
Mhm.
literally,
Mhm.
it's like there's always, like, a trade-off that I feel like Black women specifically have to be very conscious of that our counterparts on the white side do not, so it's not always, like, the easiest answer, but I think where the conversation gets, like, very serious is, there have been situations, there have been different instances where Black women specifically and Black men are being discriminated against for their
Mhm.
hair. Like, I think that, back when relaxers were, like, the thing that everyone was doing, it, straightened our hair, we're kind of fitting in, and I don't wanna say assimilating, but we are kind of, looking a lot like the people that we're in these spaces with and things of that nature too. There was an act passed. I pulled up some information on something called the Crown Act, and I actually didn't know that it stood for something. I thought crown was like your hair was
Our
your
crown meant
crown.
that
That's what
too.
I
I
thought.
didn't I
I
didn't
love
realize that it
that.
stands for something. So, it actually stands for creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. Which
Oh, wow.
Wait,
I did
lead
not know
with
that was a
that.
thing, but
Yeah.
the but the idea of this act is to ban race-based hair discrimination. These are really to, like, manage different policies and practices in places, specifically like schools and workplaces and housing, that might discriminate against people for certain hair textures, for wearing styles like locks or twist or bantu knots and braids, afros, things like that as well. Vaguely remember the fact that Dove had like a really big hand in this, but I think I didn't realize how big of a hand that they
Yeah.
had in it. So this
Yeah.
was kind of spearheaded by Dove in collaboration with the National Urban League, as well as like Color of Change and a few other organizations too. So I feel like I always heard that this was happening, or like maybe I like heard someone say it, but I didn't really realize like how much was actually behind it.
Mhm.
It always just kind of felt like something that's like, okay, they doing that, cool. I didn't know,
Mhm.
like, how much actual work was going into it, but the first act law was passed in California in 2019. As of this year, 27 states plus Washington, D.C. have passed a Crown Act or some version of it, and these laws are applying to, like, workplaces, schools, and public accommodations, but that sounds like a really good stat, but if you think about it inversely, that's still half of the states that have not implemented this and may be discriminating against people based on their hair type or, how it is that they're wearing their hair. There are some pretty notable cases about this. So I think Texas, one, I don't think anything will surprise us about. I feel like when it comes to like Texas, Florida,
Florida.
like it's all the same ballgame, really just
Yeah.
very Republican, very, very racist roots and like some of those like deep South states. But in Texas specifically, there was a high school student named Daryl George, and he had locks, and they told him he needed to cut them, and he was wearing the locks in kind of a barrel roll style.
Mhm.
They told him that he needed to cut them because they had a dress and grooming policy about hair length and what men could wear. I mean, people who have locks are, like, very usually connected to these locks. A lot of people believe that
Yeah.
spiritual implications to this hairstyle and,
Mhm.
like, that there's things, like, connected into these locks, and he was like, "I'm not cutting my locks."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas actually has a state crown law, which was very surprising to me. I didn't think that they would have a crown act law at all, but they passed theirs September 1st, 2023. This happened July 2025, and a federal judge basically dismissed the case and was like, "This school's policy does not violate the Crown Act. So, like, cut your hair or go to another school." So this is like
Wow.
it's something that, like, even with this Crown Act that is applied or, like, it's passed in certain states, that doesn't exactly mean that,
Yeah.
you're going to be accepted or, you're not gonna still be discriminated against, especially in some of these states that have very, like, racist and very, like, you know, traditional roots too. Or I think it's just a very interesting conversation to have, especially, like, as Black women who are in corporate spaces, who are in public spaces, like, I think that it's something that in some way or another we've all experienced and, maybe it might not be direct, maybe it might just be like a feeling that you get entering certain spaces. I wanted to ask if there have been certain instances where you have felt discriminated against for your hair or you felt kind of like an undertone of, "I don't belong here."
Yeah, I think for me, I'm always, like, aware of my hair. Like, I've only worked for Fortune 500 companies, and so, like, but I only worked in an office the first time 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I guess, and, like, I'm aware, like, "Okay, I don't wanna wear this to the office because I think it'll get attention." Like I said, I never, like, wore my hair in a natural state, so I never had to worry about that piece, but, like, braids, for example, like, when Amaya was talking about the color of braids, like, I'm, like, constantly aware of, like, "Okay, I can't do color or else it's gonna bring this attention, and I don't wanna, like, let off this rep kind of thing. So I think it's like something I'm aware of constantly. And I personally, especially at work, I don't want people to draw attention to my hair. So someone's like, "Oh, I like your hair today," or "Oh, your curls are so cute." Like I hate that. It's because it makes me feel so uncomfortable that like this is like a standout feature. It's like I love my hair, but at the same time, like you're pointing out that it's different than the others. And I think like that's a piece I just like am constantly like aware of and like I don't want it to be too big and like that piece because people like have questions about your hair. People want to try to touch your hair. People like it's just too much. So I think it's just something I'm like constantly aware of. And I feel like the only time I got to like felt like explore like different hairstyles and like there were no rules was like when I was in college and undergrad. But when I transitioned to like the professional world, I like had to stop that piece. And that's probably why I feel very bored with my hair because I don't
Mm,
get to do like the colors, the locks and all that stuff, like because it's just too much like bringing it into the workplace.
that's real. I think for me, I've had a similar experience. I've also like worked at pretty big companies, and I think in seeing some of like the people who are higher leadership, from number one, you don't really see a lot of Black women that are
Yeah.
top at these companies anyway, but even the ones that you see are very, like, palatable. Like, I think, like, hair-wise, a lot of them are so pressed
Straight.
down, like, with
Mhm.
the suits or, like, sew-ins that are laid that you can't even tell are not their real hair kind of thing, like and I think that just seeing that, I do wonder, like, I don't think that I don't think that these companies would ever let me with this hair that I have right now, like, in
Mm,
anybody's executive office kind of thing, and so, like,
mm,
even though these states do have, you know, Crown Acts or, like, discrimination laws or things like that, it really just does feel like one additional aspect that you just kind of have to deal with, I guess, even if it's not blatant. It's just something that I feel like I'm very aware of. I think that, like, the only time I felt not even, like, I will say no one has ever, like, come up to me like, "Oh my gosh, can I touch your hair?" Like, which I do
Yeah.
know that I do know people that is actually their story, and, like, people at work, like, "Oh, can I touch XYZ?" That's not anything that's happened to me in the workplace, but weirdly enough, when I went to India in 2023. They, I guess, like, don't have Black people there. Like, there are certain Asian countries where, like, Black people are complete, like, mysteries. Like, and so when they see
mhm,
Black people, they don't know how to act, and, like, it I've actually never experienced anything like this. My hair was actually in braids. It wasn't even my natural hair, but
mm,
Mhm.
we were at the Taj Mahal, we were at, like, some of these, like, really big landmarks in India, and there would be, like, people just they'll, like, run up to you and, like, pull out a camera and, like, take a picture with you. And
Mhm.
then one of my friends that I was on the trip with, like, she saw it because my back was turned to her, but this, like, Indian lady, she came up to me and she's, like, trying to, like, pet my hair. I didn't feel it, and the girl was like, "No, no, no,
That's crazy.
back up, XYZ," and so, like, it's one of those things that's, like it's interesting that, like, they were so enamored by, like, us being Black because a lot of them are our tone or darker.
mhm,
Yeah, literally.
I think that was, like, the one moment where I was just
mm,
like I've actually never, like, felt my boundaries violated regarding my hair
mhm.
until then, and by then I was ready to go. I was like, "I just
Yeah,
wanna
they
stay back."
touching my hair, no go.
What about you, Faith?
I feel like definitely like the past couple years, maybe my experience is a little bit different. Since moved to Atlanta, I've honestly really only like been surrounded by like Black execs, and I worked for like a Black owned company for like the past five
Mhm.
years. So I feel like honestly, me getting my hair done, I'll kind of be excited because I'll go into work and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so cute. Look at your style. Who did your hair?" Like, cause and even like the guys, like one of my coworkers, whenever I would get braids, he'd be like, "Oh, Faith's about to go on vacation. Don't call her because she got her vacation braids." And I was like, "You're
I love
right. Like,
that.
I merely get braids when I'm going on vacation."
Right.
But I will say, I think also just, like, working, like, the entertainment industry, the girls be having their hair done. Like, so
Mhm.
I think especially this year or really last year, I wanted to figure, like, what's my signature style. I think I was, like and also I'm, almost 30, so I'm starting to get grown. So I'm like, "Okay, let me, like, stop playing around, like, trying all these, like, little hairstyles. Let's find something that kinda, like, feels like my go-to, but I can still play with things in between." So I think that also had kind of, like, a big push on that where I was like, "Okay, you need to look, like, a little bit more not even professional, but, like, just overall what's the word? I just wanna find a hairstyle that, like, really aligns with, like, how I look. Cause I know on my even you talked about earlier, like, getting different braid styles, you might like it, but you're kinda like, I don't love
It's
it,"
not
or like,
me, yeah.
Yeah.
something's off." So it's like, once I kinda found a style where I'm like, "Oh, that's actually, like, really compliments me well," I'm gonna stick with that, but also your hair needs a break. You wanna do other styles in between. So
Yeah.
I
Mhm,
think now I'm just trying to keep up with the girlies and keep my hair done and make
yeah,
sure I have an appointment ready when I take my
Yeah.
braids out. Cause if not, I will literally have a heart attack
yeah,
and cry and text everyone, "What should I do with my hair?" And then
yep.
just do something completely opposite what everyone said, and then I'll hate it. So,
Wow, we're literally the same person, Faith.
yes.
That's exactly what I did. I'm like,
It's
"Well, I
like you
don't
have
wanna
to
do
plan it
that."
out, which is so annoying. It's like
Yeah.
so annoying. I'm not trying to think about what my hair should be in the next 3 months, but I try to like plan it around like events and things I have going on.
It's even more annoying when, like our white counterparts will show up to the office with their hair wet, and it's like, this would never
It can
this
never
would
be
never
me,
it could never be
ever.
me.
Literally,
Can
I wanted
never.
to say that, but I was like, I don't know, this should be one of our off limit things. But
No.
wet hair, wet hair is like if you have curly hair, but like the wet hair when it's just wet and then it's like it dries and it looks totally different. Cause it's kind of like you, even if you didn't have time, put it in a braid and then take it out. Like I don't know, like you're still dripping. I don't want to smell it. So yeah.
Dripping at work is crazy. I think for me, I've been pretty lucky overall with like hair in the workplace because I've worked at some big companies, but I work in the tech sector, so it's a little bit more flexible. I would say right now, my job is like the most like buttoned up because it's like tech, but in the healthcare industry. But like, I still got my blonde braids. I try not to like say anything about it and like make it a thing because then I feel like people tend to like not say anything about it. But I remember at my previous job, it was like media tech. And one day I had like taken down my braids, but like I got work the next day. I can't go get my hair braided during work. So my hair was still like not washed. I don't know how to do my natural hair, so it didn't look like anything. So I'm like,
Okay.
I'm not going on camera today. Like today's not the day for me to go on camera. And I remember my manager messaged me and was like, why aren't you on camera? And I sat there for so long trying to figure out how to explain, like, my hair isn't done. Like,
Hmm.
it's not happening. And they were just so like confused because I think I ended up saying, like, my hair isn't done. And I think she was kind of like, well, what does that mean? But I'm like,
Okay.
it's just so different being black in those spaces because they don't
Hmm.
understand that
Right.
period where it's like, I'm just not presentable right now, which is so sad as like a concept, but it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
and then I remember I got at that same job. I got my hair done. And at first Brooklyn, I think you said like having anxiety about like people being like, oh, like you got your hair done. And I was like anxious at first. But then, when other people would get their haircut, they always would like comment on it. So I got my braids done and I was like, oh, like I can't wait to get my comment. And no
Hmm.
one said anything. Do they not like it? I was like, dang, what I didn't want to happen didn't happen. And now I'm sad. So
Yeah.
I definitely, now I don't mind. I don't mind it. And I don't, for certain things, like, for example, if I'm like early this year, I was looking for a new job. So I was like, I'm not gonna have blonde braids in an interview. Like
Okay.
that to me is kind of crazy, even though like it shouldn't be really crazy. But then once I get the job, I'm like, okay, blonde is
Exactly
like
what
the
I
most
want.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. But I definitely wish sometimes I can experiment more. But I'm like, I would literally only be able to have that for the weekend. Okay. I think it's a wonderful time to get started with some listener questions. So every week we'll collect some listener questions. Feel free to send us anything you're looking for advice on, or you want to ask us something directly. Feel free to email us at theheysisterpod@gmail.com or direct messages on Instagram. So the first question of the week is, and this is from Megan. She says, I love my natural hair, but I'm tired of doing it. What are some of your favorite go-to hairstyles?
I'll start. I feel like I'm good for a little slick back, and I think
Hmm.
I it's become an art. It's really become an art because it's like I have a specific gel I have to use, otherwise I cannot even, like, do the slick back. My brush has to be the very specific brush, like, I can't even, like, buy a new brush at this point 'cause I'm like, I need to use this particular brush to get this slick back where I want it to be, but I feel like especially if, I'm, like, in a rush or I just, like, really wanna put my hair back, that's what I'll usually do. I feel like anyone who knew me in, like, my early natural days, I was real good for a puff, like, real good for a puff, but, like,
Hmm.
I feel like my head is just very long, so, like, it just makes my head look very tall, much taller than it is, but I would say a slick back bun for me, obviously, like, braids are not quick, but I feel like when I'm just, like, really tired of doing my hair, I'll just, like, go put some braids in too. I've been playing around with wash and goes. I just don't think that they're for my hair texture, or if they are for my hair texture, I just don't have the patience to do them correctly. 'Cause I feel like the curls won't actually land where they're supposed to land, and then I end up just, like, stretching it. But I will say for the natural days where I just feel like my hair isn't, like, as big as I want it to be, what I've started to do, and, someone taught me this on TikTok, I can't remember who it was, but I'll hold the bottom of the curl so that it stays curly, this is, like, how I do my hair now, and I'll actually, like, blow dry the edges,
Hmm.
so it just expands.
Oh, I
But,
love
like,
that.
that just,
Yeah.
like makes it feel, like, a little bigger and a little more flexible to, like, shake around and stuff.
Okay, curls are popping. I saw the
Thank
shake.
you.
Yeah.
I saw the shake. I think for me, I do tend to go braids or wig. The way I don't like lose my mind over having a wig is I'll do a glueless wig so that I can't glue it down. I'm not even gonna front. So it's not like I have an option. I have to go glueless and I'm not paying nobody to do all that lace work for it to last like a week. So
Literally.
that's definitely key to get a glueless wig, a good glueless wig, and I always try to make sure that I could see the middle part, like it has a good middle part. And then you could also get wigs now that are pre-plucked. That is like the key to
Yeah.
having your wig look a little bit more natural. And then you also, I feel like can take really good care of my hair because you just braid it under or have someone braid it under and then do your like routine like nightly and take off the wig. So it's not like a lot of traction on your hair. Or I just get braids. And I think after this discussion, I'm gonna stick to my French curls. I'm gonna stick to my French curls. But
The
our
French curls fit
segment,
you. The French curls are
Yeah.
they
yours. Like, I think
do.
they're yours, yeah.
Thank you. I'm taking it. It's mine. And we have another question, and this one is from Lisa. How did you learn how to take care of your hair, and who taught you how to do that?
Let's see. So, I think growing up it was kind of like a lot of people, I think, like, every single night, even to this day, like, my grandma, she kinda has, like, kinda shorter hair, but growing up, she would wear wigs, but then she would also, like, kinda wear her hair in curls. So, like, every night, she literally, like, oils her hair, has the old school rollers where you get the paper and wrap it around the roller, then you roll it and put a little pin in. So, to this day, she still does that. So, I think, like, she kinda taught me how, like, you need to keep your hair moisturized. I think, like, my aunt and my cousin, they kinda taught me, like, just like everyday, like, maintenance, like, from washing it to, like, styles to get, like, even when you're straightening it, making sure, like, don't do this because it's too much heat or, like, too much damage to your hair. So, basically, like, the healthy way how to care for natural hair. I've been blessed with, like, my cousin,
Mm,
my mom, so my aunt, like, they're hairstylists, so, like, I kinda grew up maybe once I turned natural, so past middle school, I would start going to them to do my hair, and I feel like they kinda, like, basically helped me, like, transition into being a natural kinda smoothly, and then, like, helping me have, like, healthy hair. The thing
mhm,
too, like, you can be natural, but a lot of these hairstylists, like, um, they're not, like, certified these days, or they just don't care about your hair, so they're just doing your hair in, like, any type of way, but there's no, like, care or maintenance to, like, make sure, like, your hair is actually healthy. And then also when I turned natural, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Alyssa Forever, she's, like, a OG YouTuber.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, so I basically was transitioning into natural, so my hair wet was still pretty long because it was, like, still permed, but it had, like, a little bit of curl to it, but it wasn't, like, as tight as my curls are now being fully natural, and she basically taught me how to do, like, twist outs and braid outs. So really, having your hair wet, now I like to do my twist out and braid outs on blow dried hair just because my hair shrinks so bad. So I'll just blow dry it out and then I'll put in the product and like twist it or braid it. But yeah, she kind of taught like how, even though we don't have the same hair texture, she kind of taught me how to kind of tend to my hair when it is wet and how I can kind of like stretch it out.
Those
that's
YouTubers were saving
beautiful.
lives, like, literally saving
Yeah.
lives,
Girl,
like
and now the TikTokers are saving I think Amaya said
actually,
earlier, you're
yeah.
looking at, like, how I literally was washing today because I have to wash my curly hair that I'm gonna put in. Like, okay, should I use silicone mix to bring the curls back? Well, what honestly, I've been trying to use more of that, even if it's not, like, my real hair, but, like, the
Yes,
weave,
yeah.
because 'cause I'm like, those are the best. Even, like, growing up, they will only use, like, design essentials on my hair, and I only
Mhm.
bought a couple of the products because 'cause they're kind of expensive, but getting older, it's like, that's worth it.
Yeah, it definitely is worth it. In Brooklyn, how was your beginning? Who'd you learn from?
Yeah, so it's actually funny. My mom used to do me and Bria's hair, but she went through this phase where like she refused. She pretended she didn't know how to braid anymore. And so she wouldn't braid my hair anymore. Like she wouldn't do our hair anymore. So I had to like teach myself how to braid. So I would like so I you would practice on her and that's how I learned how to braid and like learned how to do my own hair. Also YouTube as well. I was always on YouTube watching videos, learning how to do like certain stuff. They were watching me like I was, doing my own hair. I learned how to do knotless braids, like all that. Also, Pinterest was like very, very helpful for me in just learning how to take care of my hair, like
Mm,
what the lock method was, what like porosity was,
Mhm.
like deep condition versus protein treatment, like all of that stuff. When I was like transitioning back to natural, I had to like learn all of that all over again because I wasn't taking care of my hair initially, but when I was natural the first time. And
Mhm.
so Pinterest like really helped me like on the informational side of like how to actually take care of my hair effectively. And like you're not supposed to go to sleep with your hair wet, like all that stuff. Like I didn't know.
Mhm.
I think those are like super helpful in like teaching me how to take care of my hair and then learning how to braid. Me and an American Girl doll went together real bad and
I
practicing.
love that. I love that.
So you learned how to braid on the scalp from the American Girl doll? Because I still don't know
And then I
how.
had
I don't
this
know how to do a
The
crispy.
doll
I could do it,
heads,
but
I
No,
it's
I
had
gonna
can't
be
do a
very bad.
crispy.
had a doll
Yeah.
head. I had
we had a
American dolls
doll
and then like
head,
a
yeah.
big doll head. It was like my head size, like
Yeah.
the hair on it. Yeah.
Which is really crazy because we had the same resources and she learned how to braid and I just didn't I don't know what I was doing with that doll's head, but
You didn't
to
take
this day
advantage.
girl, no, to this day, I know how to do a braid, but, like, braiding the scalp cornrows, can't do it, so
Yeah, I went through
Yeah,
a
I need to
phase where
practice.
I went through a phase where I thought I, like, could learn, and then after, like, a couple months, I was like, "I look crazy." My wig was bumpy because my braids weren't flat. I was like, "Let me just pay somebody
Yes.
$50
Yeah.
to do it. It's worth it." I ain't got time for that.
Getting your braids
Please.
flat is like an art.
It
no,
really is.
actually,
I
no.
know how they do it. I'll never understand.
All right, so now we're switching to my favorite part. Put me on and put that down. It is pretty much what we you have on your radar that we want to let people know about, but also what we're leaving behind. And the theme is hair edition. So, who wants to start?
I can start. I don't know why, y'all. Maybe because this is the first year I've been wearing braids consistently. But getting the front and, like, this top part of my hair redone has never crossed my mind. I would just
Girl,
get the
sis.
Mhm.
braids done. I know, y'all. I know it sounds crazy, but I was like I got some, like, boho braids and Fulani in the front, and I was like, "Wait, I can just get the top redone?" And it looked like a brand new set of braids for, like, half of the cost. So it made it last, like, 3 weeks longer, and I was like I feel like I unlocked a whole new level of being a Black woman that day when I
That's
realized
a good
that.
one.
I'm putting down saying that I hate my hair. I think we
Mm.
all should put that
Mm.
down. I think our hair is such a strong, like, part of who we are, and to say you hate something that, like, is yours, I think is really it puts a lot of, like, negative energy in your mind to have, like, a negative relationship with your hair. I think I feel comfortable, at least for now, saying, like, "Oh, like, maybe I don't like my hair, or don't like." I even honestly, let's put that down too, because
Yeah, put that
I
down.
think
Put
it's
that
Period.
all
down.
put it down, put it down. It's just learning how to love your hair, I think is, like, in a really important even if, like, I probably don't really foresee myself ever really wearing my natural hair, but that doesn't mean it's any less worthy or, like, that it's not a part of who I am.
I
Mhm.
love that
Period,
answer.
sister,
Period.
period.
Thank you,
Rhea?
thank you, thank you.
Okay, so mine are kind of product based. I'm gonna cheat, I kinda have 2. The first thing that I am putting y'all onto, and I know, of course, it's Beyoncé, but these sacred products are literally changing my hair. I do not know what she put in those products, but the deep conditioner, the sealing lotion, the hydrating shampoo, it is literally like I can feel the difference in like how much softer my hair feels. And I feel like a lot of people are like, you're just saying that because it's Beyonce. Like, I have not heard people say bad things about these sacred products. Like, they're actually game changing. I have not tried the Edge drops either, but I've
I
heard
wanna
really good
try
things about
it.
those too. I've heard great things. So like I wanna like try them and be consistent with them. And the second thing is a brand called African Pride, specifically their pre-poo. And this
Mhm.
was
Yes.
Mm.
it's when I reached
It
out to my
eats.
friend about, like, "I'm about to relax my hair, what do I do?" And she was like, "Girl, go get this pre-poo and use it, and then mix it with some, like, water,
Mhm.
and it'll just make it so much easier." Girl, the brush was
Mm.
slipping through my
Bless
hair, and I was
her.
Mm.
like
Bless
I
her.
I was like
Send that in the group chats.
no, for
Yeah.
sure. I literally was like, not the whole time, I really just needed a pre-poo. So that's really all I needed.
Yeah.
And it just made it cut down the detangling process so crazy. So, like, if you get one product, especially if you have, like, thicker natural hair that is hard to
Mhm.
detangle,
Mhm.
100% the African Pride pre-poo. And then
Put that down.
put that
Put
down.
that down.
Thank you. And then what I'm putting down, and this isn't like this is no shade. This is like, do what works for your hair.
Shade.
I am putting down anchoring to Black products because we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but like these salon grade products and honestly products that are like not branded for like textured hair or for curly
Yeah.
hair, I think are doing really well. And I think that like in some aspects, everyone who kind of knows me knows that I can go down a rabbit hole and I can, be a conspiracy theorist. But I feel like in some ways, a lot of the brands that are like tailored to natural hair, a lot of them have really big companies behind them that have changed formulas and all these different things. And I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
like somewhere in the milk, it just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like there's a little too many white hands in the pot for me to really stand 10 toes behind like all natural hair products. And obviously there are natural hair products that I think work really well. As African Pride one, I think is a really big one that a lot of people agree with. But just not being afraid to try products that aren't branded for textured
Yeah.
hair, for curly hair, because they might work just as well.
And that's the tea. Faith, what's yours?
Okay, let's see. I think mine put me on is honestly, I haven't personally washed my own hair in probably like over a year. Like in
Oh.
between styles, usually like I'm not even wearing my hair out. Like I'm just like changing the style. So I'll just have the hair stylist like wash it for me and detangle or whatever. But also even like some braids, like I'm gonna take out these braids today because they're like large. But like just putting this when you get your hair done, put aside money for the takedown.
Mm.
If you have like really small braids, you don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I don't have the time. I think I'm just getting older and paying for convenience. I would love.
Mhm.
I went to like I go to this natural shop like in between so they could like kind of detangle and braid me up or like blow dry me to prep me for my other appointments since you have to have 2 appointments these days to get your hair done. Um, but I just feel like the luxury of like them taking it down and them doing it like safely and not
Mhm,
harmful, because I know I can get very impatient and I'll just start cutting wrong or start pulling it out. And
mhm.
if there's a knot, I'm just like the whole hair is a knot. So it's just not going to be done correctly. So
That's a good
I
one.
think just making sure, depending on what hairstyle you do have, even when Bria was talking about the locks, I feel like if you get locks, you definitely need to pay someone to take them down because
Mhm.
you can really mess up your hair trying to take it out because it's so intricate with the
Yeah.
braid and the hair wrapping.
And then the
Yeah, paying
protective
for
style that you got it for is
convenience.
pointless, like, because 'cause you're not
Yes,
Yeah.
protecting your hair.
exactly. It's like my
Mhm.
hair was growing all these months or weeks, and now, yeah, you can't tell.
Yeah.
And then put that down. And what was I gonna say? Oh, putting down. I'm putting down going to all these random stylists just for one style and then them doing a horrible job and then me being mad but not changing my hair because I sat for 10,000 hours and now I have to look a mess. I think, especially like in the past couple weeks, I'm like, oh, I really want to get my hair done. And I really wanted so because my cousin usually like does like my sew-ins in my hair. Then I'll go to like a natural shop in between and like get it braided or washed. Now I'll just go get it braided by other people. But I really wanted to find like a professional who like specializes in like curly sew-ins because my cousin does like sew-ins and tape-ins, but she doesn't like professionalize in like the curliness of it. So I'm looking for people. I'm like, I could go to this girl and this girl, but I'm also reminded of all my horror stories when the first couple years I moved to Atlanta and just like, these really do not give a fuck. You will come out bald. You will come out literally 15 hours later, hair still not done. Like, it's insane. So I think just like, even if there's like a style I really want one person to do, I'll just practice with my cousin. Love you, Erin. Thank you for always working with me. Even when you say you can't do certain things, you push through. But I
Yes,
think
shout out
finding
Erin.
certain, yes,
We love
finding
Erin.
certain people to like work with you in your hair to like,
Mhm.
even if there's a style you want to achieve, trying to figure out how to do it safely. So, okay, putting down all these random hairstylists because y'all suck. Shade, Erin.
Shade.
I think for me, mine are on like the protective style side of things. So put me on. So I have a small head, call it a pea head. And what I'm putting on, they have They have
What?
wigs that have drawstrings. There's a point to this, I
Mm,
promise. They have wigs that have
mhm,
drawstrings that you can like tighten the wig with the drawstring. And like I can't usually wear like glueless wigs, so they're too big. So like I can't not glue it or
mm.
else it's gonna fall off. So now I can draw the drawstring and it makes it fit. And this is really good for protective style too, because I usually do like mini twists underneath. Then I wake up, I throw it on, put a drawstring, and it's nice and tight. You don't have to put any glue on it. It's perfect. One of my favorite go-to quick styles also from before. Putting down. I am putting down. I do not believe in going to a braiding shop and there's not multiple people on my head. If I am in there longer than 2.5, 3 hours, I will never be
Yeah,
back. I refuse. I refuse. If I don't have at least 3 people, I'm upset. I'm
I don't
upset.
want it.
3 people? Where is this
Yes,
at?
I
New
don't
York?
I've
know.
had 4 people on
In
my head this
Texas?
last time.
Yes. Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I no.
it's the
Mm-mm.
best.
I have no patience. So around hour 2, I'm like, "What's taking so long? Why
Yeah.
are we still going?" It's so bad,
Hey.
but no. So if
I feel
there's
that.
not, that's why like even like the individual stylists that like if it's just them in their house doing it,
Mhm.
sorry, I
Yeah.
can't. 'Cause I
Can't
know it's
commit
gonna
to the
take you
house.
6 hours.
No.
I
No,
feel like that's
Yeah.
been
it's gonna take longer than what they said.
no, yeah. I
Exact.
feel like
Oh
that's
my
been
goodness.
the but
Funny story. I was getting my hair done. I was getting faux locks actually, and I went to this girl's little studio. I was there till 3 in the morning.
No, no.
no.
What time
3
did you
in the
get there?
morning. Got there at 7 p.m. Don't even
No.
ask why it was that late because I'm dealing with the stylist. Someone's still here. I'm still finishing up.
Of
Come in
course.
30 minutes. Come in an hour. I left at
No
3
time
a.m.
management.
Yeah.
None. I was sick. Sick.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
therefore,
crazy.
I think that's been the hardest part of me living in LA though too, because LA is just such a vanity city. No shade, it's just
Mm.
like the way that
No, it
you
is.
look matters. And with that, every beauty service that you could ever need, add like $200 on top of it. It's like
Dang.
easily. Like they are waxing out here for braids because they know people want them and they need them for photo shoots and all these different things.
Mhm.
Like the way that you look really matters out here. And so like finding a stylist, African braid shops, the ones that are like in New York, pretty much non-existent. I think I've heard of like
Oof.
one or two, but like you have to go to somebody's studio or somebody's crib and it's just them. So it's like that's been like it's really crazy to think about with LA being like such a big city. You think like it's like an easy market for them to get into, but like I think even, like, keeping my hair done out here has been so difficult even because it's like I'm new to the city, so I'm, like, trying out new stylists and,
Yeah.
is this person even good? One girl actually, I'm not even gonna I'll probably be back to her, so I'm just leave that out of it.
don't
Yeah,
I'm
bring
'cause
not
she
that
even
hear this and
saying
that's
anything.
No shade, no shade. She did good, it was just the conditions were a little not up to par, but, like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Sometimes you
like,
gotta
been a
suffer, one or two
exactly.
more hairstyles just until you find the next person.
And then I was in an Ulta randomly, and this older lady, she had to be, like, in her 50s, 60s, but you could tell she was, like, a OG hairstylist,
Mhm.
and she was working back there, and I, like, went up to her, and I was like, "Do you do silk presses back here?" Because she was coloring them white lady's hair. I was like, "Do you do silk presses?" And she was like, "Yeah. The silk presses, they're, like, 80, $90." I was like, "Okay, this is a good option." I don't get the silk press done. And she was like, "So you need a trim. It'll be 120." I said, "Girl, what are you talking about?
How did we get here?
$50 for a trim on
$40
top."
wait, oh,
No,
no.
Oh,
Times your
that's
new total.
sick.
My
no,
Oh,
shut
no,
up,
they
wait,
Talk.
she
charge an
tried to
extra
play.
Hand me
they
some
try
scissors.
they charge an extra
Bria,
$100 to get the trim. I said, "Don't even bother." I was like, "I'll go home and
Don't
trim it."
it
even.
takes 5
Myself.
Safety scissors.
seconds.
I said,
Yeah,
"There's no
that's
way.
insane.
There's no
Can you
way."
no, it's actually
Taxing.
insane. Because the
No, it
place
was
okay,
crazy.
wait, it's okay, to add on to that, last time before I got these braids, I went to go get, like, my hair washed and detangled. I went to go get my hair washed and blow dried so I could prep for the braider.
Mhm.
And I get there and I had, like, probably wet it and combed it. And he was like, "Oh, you didn't detangle." And mind you, I'm at a natural shop. Love them though, love them. He's like, "Oh, did you detangle your hair?" No, he's like, "Did you just take braids out?" I'm like, "No, I had a sew-in, so technically yes." And he's like, "Oh, I'm had to detangle. You know, that's extra because they charge to detangle." Mind
That's
you,
to
I had
brush your hair.
already
That's crazy.
put a trim on the appointment, which is also it's probably like $15 or $30 and just I don't know, whichever one. I'd add that on because I had so many styles, I haven't got a trim in a long time, and I was like, "You can just
Mhm,
do this real quick." And I was like, "Well, take the trim off and add the
mhm,
detangle, I guess." Then I trimmed my own hair. Well, I didn't trim it, I just cut it. Who knows what it looks
mhm.
like whenever I get it straightened, but I'm just like, "Geez, you're charging to detangle? I'm getting it
Yeah,
washed. You have to detangle it."
Yeah.
You
Like,
have to.
Like, that makes no sense for it to
yeah,
be extra.
yeah. The
yeah.
girls are just getting lazy,
They've
and
lost their
Yeah.
No,
minds.
they're
and
out
this
of it.
this
Mine.
this
And
is a
somebody's
shop,
paying for
like
it.
a shop with multiple people,
That's
and I still
crazy.
love them, but it's just like, like, no, wash my hair. I don't understand. And my
Right.
hair should not if I'm getting my hair washed, blow dry, it should not be over $100. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap up our lovely conversation for today, we are going to close with our intentions for the week. I think it's super important. I think this the past couple months I've been trying to really write down my daily intentions and also my daily gratitude. So
Mm.
overall, I just think, being intentional helps us move through life with clarity and purpose rather than us just reaching to whatever comes our way. So really trying to plan out our lives piece by piece. And even if you don't have the capacity to do that, you can at least be intentional about one small thing. This week, my intentions are to just be super present. We're going to our line sister's wedding this week. Get to see all my line sisters and all my friends and my college friends and just little mini reunions. And I feel like I have been in a little isolation mode for the past couple of months. So I'm excited to just be present, reconnect with everyone, and just enjoy being around my friends and basically my sister family cousins.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be so much fun. And Maya?
For me this week, I need to use my time wisely. So with all like the traveling and like long car rides, I'm always like, oh, like I don't have time to like do everything that I want to do in the day. But then like during those like down times, because like I'm not driving, I'm like on Instagram or on TikTok or texting people. And it's
Mhm.
like that could be time to use that I want to do the stuff that I want to do. So just finding ways to be more productive when I can and when I have some downtime.
I think for me, routine, just like the new phase that I'm in, it's a transition. And so like I literally have not worked out since I've been in the city. Like I don't have like my places yet, like my stores, all that. And so just trying to like find a routine back in my life that I used to have that was like very well structured. And like now it's kind of vibing. So I just need that structure. Like I told my friend, I need a goal. I need an accomplishment of a
Mhm.
day. And like right now, there's
Yes.
nothing. It's just like wake up, go to class, come home, do homework, and go to sleep. Like that's not, yeah. So I just need some routine. That's what I'm trying to like work on for the week.
Okay, that's a good one. Mine is going to be I'm gonna be intentional about my screen time. My screen time has been off the wall, like completely off the charts. And I noticed it because my coworkers at work, which I don't believe in your coworkers being your friends, but they're real friendly. And they were like comparing screen times.
Ooh.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm sitting here actively ignoring the conversation because
I'm
I'm like,
gonna
if y'all were
lie.
to
I'm not.
if y'all were to look
An
at my
hour.
screen time, like, if y'all were to look at my screen time, it would be nuts. So, like, I'm not even going to participate in that, but I think it was a good reminder that I just need to be more cognizant of my
Mhm.
screen time and, like, not waking up in the morning and first thing I'm doing is getting on my phone or, like, being on my phone as I'm getting ready to go to sleep because that just, like, messes up your whole sleep anyway. So just having, like, dedicated time where I'm like, "Okay, this is when I'm on my phone and this is when I'm not," so that my screen time is not in the double digits because that's
Mm.
That's very nice.
Now I'm gonna look at mine after this. I'm afraid
This is a
because
safe
I've been
space.
I know, yeah, let me say something, let
the
me look
charts.
before.
I've been in bed. I haven't
insane.
read not one book
I
this
know
week.
mine's crazy. I was like,
Yeah, it's month end, so alright, well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of Hey Sister. Make sure you connect with us via email or our social medias. You'll find us in the bio. It's the Hey Sister Pod everywhere or the Hey Sister Pod at gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you guys next time. Bye, sisters.
Bye,
hi,
sisters.
sister.